Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what have you got? Yeah, Nick Drake, 3 Nick Drake albums, first presses, yeah, the original presses, yeah. You have to sell them, okay, yeah. Prices, you know, not really worth that much now. They used to be, but you know, the prices has really, you know, gone through the floor on them, I'm afraid. Yeah. So what you after for them? Oh no, can't make that. No, you know, I mean, this time, you know, last month probably would have done a bit more, but I give you 10 each. 10 each. Yeah, cash. Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay. All right, I'll drop around, pick them up later. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mum. Love you. Bye. Cheers. Bye. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, hi everyone. Welcome. That's not how record shops do business. Hey, great to see you. Thanks for everybody who's watching the videos. All, I think about a dozen of you, watch them a few times each, which is, you know, good because you miss all the great records, all my amazing jokes. Okay, let's go on with it. 20 minutes, wasn't it, last week? That's nuts. What I've got to tell you, Sun Tzu is playing on Saturday, so you can hear Sun Tzu now playing. Why did I feel the urge to show you the speaker? Don't know. Anyway, it's great. I like it's 60s psych sound, most definitely. I think there's a contemporary sound. There's certainly an influence of 80s mod jam revival type stuff. Also, I think of Flaming Lips. I said that before, and I hope Greg at Sun Tzu takes that as a compliment. I think there's a kind of psyche sound in there. There's definitely a bit of a garagey sound, but really good stuff. I'm listening to it. I'm already liking it. I've given it a couple of listens, but more I listen to it, the more I like it. Also reminds me of a band I really like interestingly called Silver Sun, who never really got anywhere, and they were really pop, but they had really great harmonies, and they were a 90s band. Sadly, I think the lead singer died in the last couple of years, tragically, but I mean, they were great. They were really fantastic, nailed down harmonies, something spectacular, and there's a little bit of that in Sun Tzu. And they get down 4:30 is when it's going to be a stripped down set, and they play in this little area here. So 4:30, that's free, but we've got the album and the CD for sale. I think we're going to be doing 20 quid on the album, and you can get that signed, and 10 on the CD. So on the day, come and get them from me. Right, let's get this sorted out and we'll get into it. So what I've done today is, I've got another mixture, but predominantly I'm focusing on kind of relatively cheaper, more affordable stuff. There's some high-end stuff, and I do get high-end stuff in. I get a mix, just grab my coffee. So I'll get a mix in, so when you come down, you'll see that in the shop. So let's go through some of the stuff. There's a real mix, so I think something for everybody in here. You can see I've got a new box today, because the box is full. I haven't emptied it yet, haven't put it in the racks. So, alright, what have we got? Ian Dury, Lord Upminster, original. Just pull that back a bit so you guys can see it. Give me a shout, as always, if there's anything that you see here. Still got an absolute ton of free and Paul Kossoff. Can you guys see that okay? Still got an absolute ton of free and Paul Kossoff stuff, but this actually came in a different collection, and this is a 1986 European repress, really near mint. So if you're just after a really good copy of this, that's the one for you. Got quite a bit. Gary Moore nearly went flying there. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of Gary Moore filled in it, Thin Lizzy, stuff like that. Got loads of country in, and country normally just gets thrown in the £2 bin, but it's really underrated. I mean, it's by far the most emotional stuff I ever play in the shop. It's absolutely fantastic. So I love a bit of country. So some of it goes in the £2 bin, and some of it, I've got a little country section where I price up some of the more interesting stuff. Some of the Johnny Cash and stuff like that is worth a little bit. Waylon Jennings, actually quite collectible. I do get people coming in asking for Waylon Jennings. You may scoff, but Ruby Don't Take Your Love to Town, Lucille, I mean, The Gambler. I mean, you're probably singing them now in your head. They're absolutely astonishing. Tons of Johnny. Ballads That Won the West. There's absolutely loads, and same album, different cover. Got loads of easy stuff as well. Again, it gets a bit of a bad rap, but some of it is absolutely unbelievable. And particularly this, what era is this? Capitol era Sinatra, the early stuff, not all the New York nonsense, but all the really great early stuff. Is it the Nelson Riddle stuff? Yeah, Orchestra Nelson Riddle. It's fantastic, and it's dirt cheap. I mean, $5 for an original like early 60s album. I mean, The Wee Small Hours is a classic, isn't it? I think that's the first 12-inch long player produced. Someone can correct me. Got loads of soul as well. Four tops here. Let's get through this. Drifters. This is all the more affordable stuff. All this is in great condition, and there's much more in the shop. It's just to give you an idea, really. Drifters, Temps, greatest hits. Going out with the bit more pop here. Flying Pickets album. All really affordable stuff. Dusty, Rusty Springboard, etc. Comps, always getting loads of comps in. What's this? I think the notes here have been written by Tom, the guy on a Sunday. We're open on a Sunday. He's put Thunderstick, Tractor Chainsaw, Heretic and Seducer all on one. Oh, I thought that was a joke, but that's the name of the bands. He doesn't want to comp with Chains. Is that Tractor? Oh no, I thought the band was called Tractor Chainsaw, which would have been great, but I think they're two separate bands, Tractor and Chainsaw. I wonder if Tractor are like, I'll have to play it. That's got to be played now. I wonder if Tractor are like a kind of, Southwest kind of, heavy metal band, kind of heavy metal from Salisbury, Swindon, Bath, Cairn, Chippenham. Yeah, I know that area quite well. Devizes, metal from Devizes, Tractor. Anyway, most dangerous roads in the world, Wiltshire. That's another story. It's got Wilco on, which is a bit odd, and Jimmy Page on it. Samson. I need a drummer from Samson. I once took it. He was working in when I worked in the music industry. He had the job before me, and then I got the job from him, and he was trying to tell me all about the job, and I was more interested in the fact he played in Samson. And he played the drums, which is nuts. Right, I've got an absolute shed load of Dubliners. I've got this in a collection, and the dude knew the Dubliners, so there's absolutely loads. I think they're all in really good condition, and some of them come with all sorts of bits added in. So if you're a Dubliners fan, they're all here. It may be a little bit nonny new for some people, but there's a ton of folk as well, additional folk stuff. So that's about a third of it, I think. So absolutely tons of that. Tons of. Just move Sun Zoom out of the way there. Don't want him. On his record falling off. Pop, Michael Jackson, got loads of that. Rock, classic rock, Santana. Absolutely tons of that. Antana, Songs from the Future. I don't know what that is. I didn't price that up. I have no idea what this is. Antana. Trying to get a clue from the back. No, 1980. Guessing that's kind of indie pop, but I have no idea. Nice. All sorts. Will the Cat Stevens. I got some other Cat Stevens. I don't think I showed them the other week, didn't I? Tifa Tillerman and the other one with a T in it. Can't remember what that is. First presses. Holly's Greatest Hits. They're normally battered when these come in, but that's in really good condition. More comps. More good stuff. Again, kind of 80s soul. Gets a right pasting, but some of it is amazing. I've got a couple of records in the shop here that it's really difficult to take them off once you put them on, because you put them on thinking, oh, that's funny, that's a laugh, and then they're really good. Luther's great. I really like the overproduction of the 80s. I've got more of this metal stuff. Val Wow, so all that's going out. That's your bag. Come and get it. More crooners. Bit of Tony Bennett, lads. More soul. Diana Ross. Still got Sun Zoom going in the background if you can hear it, so no doubt you can. Stranglers. Got loads of Stranglers and loads of punk. Collectible and affordable, new presses, original presses, really doing quite well in that space. Al Stewart, your cat. More pop with Tina, owning it. Diana Ross, super cheap stuff here. Great, this is where it gets really interesting. And you got like Temps doing a psychedelic album, brilliant, love it. There's some really good stuff like in the blues and soul scene. I've got some interesting stuff like Muddy Waters doing like psych stuff. That's really great. I love it when they kind of had to push out of the boundaries that we used to do in some of these artists. This is really good. Psychedelic Shack. Who watched Friday Night Live last week? Come and get your Ben Elton album from back in the day with a tour programme. £4. Yes, indeed. Bit of funk, bit more funk there, bit more Alexander O'Neal. I've got some collectibles coming up in a minute, right? So just get through. I just thought I'd price up some much more kind of affordable stuff. Jacksons. This isn't all the stuff that was left over, by the way. Got tons more stuff to get through. Hot chocolate. It might be some of the stuff that was left over. Hot chocolate. More Santana. You can tell I haven't put these in any sort of order, otherwise I'd have put all the Santana together, all the hot chocolate together, then you put it in genres. Then you can get someone going, oh, I wouldn't put hot chocolate in disco, I'll put them in funk or something like that. Perfect Beat, comps, loads of comps, loads of these greatest hits, cheap greatest hits stuff, Cat Stevens, Donovan, all that sort of stuff. Commodores, I think I mentioned the Commodores last week. Getting into the 70s, Eric Clapton there, looks like he's doing a bit of carpet shopping. But he obviously doesn't look too happy about it, because clearly he's forgot to include the underlay in the price there. Never mind, Eric, cheer up. Slade, love it, got tons of Slade. Again, you get a collection and you find out what people are into, and then I picked up one collection, tons of Slade. Absolute standard record to have. This is an original, not $2.99 anymore. Great condition. Again, this one, original, Simon Garfunkel, Diana Ross, more Diana, more Easy Listening, Frank, here, Isley Brothers, more comps, Guitar Waves. Again, come down and check out the comps. Who's on this? Oh, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Blue Oyster Cult, Journey, Judas Priest, Santana, the Joe Perry Project. Okay, not Aerosmith. I've had some Vamps Beep a couple of weeks ago, and I've got 2 copies of this album, and I said, oh, I just sold a copy, I know what I'm doing, I'm up with modern music. And then the girl who bought it brought it back. A friend already had it, or a friend's gone, what did you buy me that for? I hate the Vamps. Anyway, this is signed. That is your thing. 12s, Bruce Springsteen 12s. I get loads of 12s. Some of them are really collectible, and I have guys who come in here and they're just after 12-inch, excuse my arm, they're just after 12-inch records. I'll show you that in a minute. They're just after 12-inch records. So more than anything else, I get people asking me to put stuff away, particularly the 80s stuff. So I've got loads of, you'll probably see it in a minute, Human League and stuff like that. But at the moment, so I've got Bruce. They're in great condition. Really near mint condition on them. The Honey Dippers, back to albums featuring Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant. You'd expect that to be really good, and I've heard it's not really good. Make of that what you will. I haven't listened to it, to be fair. Right, when you first see this, probably your thoughts don't immediately go to kind of reggae, 1973 reggae. It is. It's interesting. You know, it's interesting. Dude's having a go. You know, it's on Trojan. I think it's on Trojan. Yeah, it's on Trojan. Having a go. Living the dream. The lad's living the dream. Cover's ridiculous, but he's living the dream. Or he's lived the dream. I don't know. You know, what was going on in the 1970s? I mean, what was happening in the 1970s? People thought this sort of stuff was a cover. It was like perfectly normalised and acceptable. Oh, that's normal. That's what dirty old men do. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not like, you know, woke or whatever that even means, but it's just ridiculous. Right, let's move on. Rod Stewart's not the 1970s anymore, luckily. Although it feels like it, doesn't it? Turn your heating off tonight. When your lecky goes. More Rod, honestly. I've got more Rod than anything at the moment. Look at Rod there, responsible for global warming with the amount of product on that head. I mean, that is an impressive bonnet. I like it when you see really old mods who come in and they're, you know, they're well in their 50s, a little bit chunky, and they've all got like, you know, mad, crazy Steve Marriott hairdos. Not as bad as that, but you know what I mean. all with the slight mullet in there. Love it. Love that. Love seeing the old mods do that. Makes me think I'm glad I haven't got hair, because honestly if I had hair, I'd have the most ridiculous hairstyles, I think. Playing Parker, this is like a charity shop classic, isn't it? And again, it doesn't really get listened to on the back of that, but it's a great album. Oh. Tina live, I remember playing this in their greatest hits to death, working in a record shop in the 80s. Phil Spector. Have the debate about whether you should listen to music of, you know, murderers and criminals. Difficult, innit? I mean, do you say no, or do you just listen to the music and take the music for what it is? You wouldn't listen to anything, would you, if you had the attitude of can't listen to anything where people have been incarcerated? Anyway, Phil Spector's greatest hits. I've got the Christmas album as well, which is absolutely belting. A gift for you. It's tremendous. I got that in for Christmas. Right, got some. These lads, pretty good beat combo from this part of the world. I think they'll go far. Pretty good stuff. So I've got some original presses. Some not in great condition as normally comes in. I price them and put them out. They play, but they're just really noisy. Anyway, so third press of Abbey Road, 1970s. But this is a 1970s stereo press, a really amazing condition on this one. Fantastic. In the mint, you don't really see that on this. I think it's got the bits. Yeah, it's got the Neiman poster and photos. That's really good. It's numbered as well. 292453. That is a 1970 stereo side opener. Loud cut. You don't need me to explain. That's in really good condition for a loud cut. I'm still waiting to come across a first press of Revolver. I might have had one in and just sold it without thinking about it, but the first press of Rubber Soul that I've just put away, if you don't know, was the very first of them was cut, where there was a loud, like heavy bass sound on it, if I'm correct, and then they repressed them very quickly, so they're really collectible. And the first press of Revolver, I think there was a remix of Tomorrow Never Knows on there, which was the wrong one, so they repressed that very quickly. Hence they're super collectible. I've got just pretty standard copies of Rubber Soul as well, if you just want to come in and buy an original or a new one. I've got some of them, but there's also collectible ones. This is a Canadian 1978 press of Sgt. Pepper on marble vinyl. 25 quid on that if you're just after a standard playing copy of Sgt. Pepper's. Great. UK first of Sgt. Pepper, not in the best condition. Good plus. Price reflects it. Doesn't have the insert. Has the inner sleeve. What's this? Mono 66. This is the second press. This is when they realised that Tomorrow Never Knows was wrong, and then this is where they pressed like millions of these. So this is a pretty standard Revolver. I'm intrigued about the new remix of Revolver. Certainly the remixes of Sgt. Pepper and White Album, remixed by Guy Martin, I think. Is it Guy Martin? If I mixed him up with the bloke on the telly, Steve Martin, one of them Martins who's remixed it. It's brilliant. Really worth hunting out. And if you want to buy new copies, I'd go and buy those remixed albums by Barry Martin, whatever his name is. Okay, Help 1965 mono, 30 quid on that. This is my favourite Beatles album, Beatles for Sale, and I think it's because it's the third album, right? And it's got stuff like I'm a Loser on it, Rock and Roll Music, Kansas City, and I think that they should have bent it backwards. I think they absolutely own those songs. I love them. It's got 8 Days a Week on it. I also think No Reply, I'm a Loser, Babies in Black, and it's them, I think, really starting to stretch their legs in terms of being songwriters. Not that anybody cares what I think, but it's also got the cover versions. It's kind of that link between old Beatles and new Beatles, I think, and for that reason, it's this and the White Album, my favourite Beatles albums. Second Beatles album with the Beatles. This is 8 quid because it's only fair condition. Fair means it plays, but it's basically seen much better days. Collectible 1984, double comp of love songs. That's a good comp to get all of. These are the best ones for cheap. Just get a Beatles comps in. These Rock and Roll Music Volume 2, Volume 1. We're nearly at the end, and I've got one more thing. How are we doing? God, I really do chat, don't they? Small Faces, Bigots, great comp. I mean, what maybe the greatest band of the 60s. These are the Kinks, the Pretty Things, if you exclude all those amazing garage bands that never really got the recognition that they deserved. I mean, where'd you start with all them? I like, obviously like that Mersey beat sound, like the Kirby's, but there's other bands I really love. Seeds, Monks, I've mentioned, the Rationals, are all great bands. If you want to explore all that stuff and you don't know where to start, come in the shop. I've got loads of comps, pedals. Comp is a great one to start, but just come in and, you know, let's have a chat and we can talk through and just play some music. That's what it's about, isn't it? And then you can educate me on stuff as well, because people come in and go, what about this thing? And I know, and I haven't got a clue. I'm opening this shop to be told stuff. That's really the idea. Particularly anything like, you know, modern or anything past about 1970. I'm like, don't know. Best of Bowie, because, you know, it's the law. Come back to this one. And I'll just end on these two. Ohio Players, a bit more 70s soul funk, funky stuff there. Bob Marley, I still got loads of Bob Marley collectibles in, and I've got reggae, ska, dub section, spoken word. This is, I get these as you'd expect, being local, and this one's interesting. If I can get it out of the sleeve, because it is. Oh, it's not the one. I've got another one called the Cop Choir, which is autographed. So that's going. That must be in my other pile. So I'll save that for you for next week. So there's that one there. So that one's going out, and that is 15 quid. So if you're a fan of, I'll do that. Do that later. Right. What else? Yeah. So the gig. Oh, the gig. Come the gig on Saturday. That'll be really good. You know what else of stuff? We've got all the turntables. I'll get out the light so you can see. We've got turntables for sale if you're after something for Christmas. We've got cheaper turntables. We've got really good Bluetooth turntables. We've got LP cases. We've got merch. Got all that stuff. And the jukebox was cleaning it up, starting to clean that up. And I said to my dad, "Will you make us a key for the Juki, because it needs sorry about that. It just needs I need a key ring. Sorry, because I've got these tiny little keys." Tiny little keys, and you can't lose them because some sort of specialist locks on them or something. So asked my dad for a key ring. I'm not going to lose that. I did ask him for this. So it's a Rowe AMI jukebox. So there's the AMI, and we said it looked like it should be out the Troubadour Club. So Troubadour. So thanks, Dad. Right, everyone, have a great weekend. Hopefully come down. We're open on Sunday. We're open every Sunday 11 till 3, so come on down. It'll be Tom down here. I'm here for a bit on a Sunday, and then Tom runs it. Come down to the gig tomorrow 4:30. Still want to get the Vinyl Listening Club up and running. We thought we might have something in the works, but I don't think that's going to work out, so I'm just going to give it a bit more thought and then do something that's, you know, that's good. So just leave that with me and we'll organise something. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and see you later. Bye. There's something wrong with this button.